I needed to reconcile in my own mind how we can form ties with groups of people that I'm being taught are committing shirk. You see? My heart is telling me that we need to form bonds for the ummah. And these are people of iman and taqwa. I meet them, I interact with them, and they have great precedence when they quote their fatwa of tawassul, whatever it might be. They have a long list of ulama from Suyuti and from, Ibn Hajar and Nawawi. All of them are allowing this thing, and you know this. I mean, this is well known, right?
Yes.
And yet I am being taught that specific aspects of what they're doing is shirk and kufr. Okay? So how do I reconcile forming bonds with people whom intellectually I'm being told, and I believe at that time, that this is shirk? And that's a cognitive dissonance. You're put in a very awkward situation. And this is what forced me to go back and really, as I said, with an open mind, think, is it really shirk? What my teachers have taught me. I'm meeting these Muslims. I don't see them as Hindus. I don't see them as pagans. I see them with their iman, their taqwa, their tahajjud, their dhikr. I see them and they genuinely love Allah and His Messenger. And I see them quoting great ulama, far greater than, you can disagree and you can say, yes, they should not be doing that. But it's not shirk whatsoever. The term shirk should never be applied to what mainstream ulama have endorsed throughout Islamic history. That's a very dangerous term. That's a loaded term. Do not use the term shirk or kufr to describe mainstream Sunnism. You can say, I disagree, and it is not correct. And it is a stepping stone, I have said this, to shirk. Yes, I have said this. Calling the dead, wallahi, I don't like it at all. And it's something that really we should not open the door to. But what are you going to do? These are Muslims that have great precedents. They have great ulama within our tradition. We're not talking about outside our tradition. And I think you as well, didn't you moderate a debate?
Yes, I did indeed.
I heard about this. Yeah. So you've heard the evidences. It's not as if it's coming out of thin air.
Well, it's normative, very much normative.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is normative. That's the point that our, Najdi brethren fail to understand. This, you're talking about the Salaf, you find whiffs of this in the first, Tawassul, the first three generations, no doubt about it. Imam Ahmad allowed Tawassul according to many of his own students, right? And then you have Ibn Taymiyyah, with my utmost love and respect, saying it's a bid'ah, okay? Many of the Salaf allowed Tawassul.
So, Sharif, because you cited it, so when I chaired that debate on the permissibility of Tawassul Istigatha between Shaykh Sa'd Rashid, who doesn't identify as a Brahmi, but Hanafi Ash'ari, and then Ustad Abdul Rahman Hassan, who was obviously of that persuasion, of the Najdi persuasion. And I recall at the very beginning, Shaykh Sa'd, he said that, look, our issue isn't that you believe it's haram. Our issue is that you believe it's shirk. Because essentially what you're doing by extension here, you're making takfir on us, takfir light on us, yeah? You can't open the heart of every single person who visits the grave. You don't know that they're asking the person who's deceased independently to give them X, Y, and Z. So here we are debating, do you believe seeking assistance or aid from the deceased not independent of Allah? And whatever our argument is it shirk or is it haram? And I remember Abdul Rahman Hassan said it's shirk. And he said, and this is why we are here debating.
Exactly my point. If you say it is haram, then you can agree to disagree and maybe even have a heated debate, but in the end you will part as brothers.
Yeah.
Because you haven't made takfir or shirk. That's my point here, right?
Yeah.
If you say it is shirk, which is what the Najdi Da'wah says, you can't form strong alliances with people that you think are basically soft Hindus. I mean, how are you going to do that, And as you're aware, this is what this is what the Najdi Da'wah teaches. And I have an anecdote in my lecture, the 3-hour long one. I even spoke to one of their senior scholars, Bin Bayya, and I said to him, like, how do you expect us to reconcile, forming bonds with people that we think they're doing shirk? I asked him this question. This is me in 2005, 2006, problematizing, like, look, what maslaha is there? And this is what the Najdi say. What maslaha is there in forming ties of relationship with people that are not actually Muslims? And they have a valid point from their paradigm. There is no maslaha, politically or theologically, from forming ties with people that you think are committing shirk and kufr. You understand this point? And that's why, for example, anybody who believes the Prophet ﷺ is not the final prophet, the group I'm talking about.
Of course.
I have nothing to do with them. What
100%.
maslaha is there? What
Yeah,
maslaha is there? Nothing. I have nothing to do with them. I don't want to do anything with that movement because I don't view them as being kith and kin to me. Right? They're a different firqa, and not even firqa, sorry. They're a different deen. They have nothing to do with Islam.
100%.
Okay, now if you're going to say mainstream tasawwuf, Ghazalian tasawwuf, is kufr and shirk, right? If you're going to say 90% of the ulama of Yemen and, Morocco and many in Azhar and whatnot are practicing shirk, what are you going to do to the ummah? And that's why I have to say, at least amongst our circles that listen to us, I don't give khutbahs about this. My lecture series are not about these issues, but for academic audiences, and even in the library chats, I said this is an academic talk. If you're interested, you have the background. We need to clarify that this interpretation of calling it shirk is a minority one. You can call it haram, and you have giants that have called it haram. Ibn Aqil said it's haram. My argument, and I know this caused a controversy, but I stand by this. It appears very clear to me that Ibn Taymiyyah is also upon this position, and that Ibn Abdul Wahhab misinterpreted Ibn Taymiyyah. And I quoted Ibn Taymiyyah as well. And as I said, further research needs to be done, because you do find passages that are ambiguous in nature. So we need to compile all the passages and get a clear cut. But it is very clear to me, at least at this stage, and I'm willing to be corrected or sit with specialists, but at this stage it is clear to me that as a default, Ibn Taymiyyah said it is haram to ask the dead, and it could be shirk, and this is the position that I hold.